Hey guys, what is going on? Today I will be going over Roger Federer's forehand, one of the most lethal forehands of all time, and also probably the most copied forehand of all time. So let's get to it. Okay guys, let's first talk about his grip. He uses a Eastern grip. Unlike many pros that use semi-Western and Western, he prefers to use the Eastern grip, which makes it easier for him to flatten out balls. However, he still has a good amount of spin to keep that ball in the court. Okay guys, now let's go over a little bit about his backswing and his coil. So the biggest thing that you guys are going to notice, not just with Roger Federer, but with any pro, because again, the idea of the video is what can you copy from his takeback, from his technique, or from his forehand. It's that basically all pros, not just him, begin their body turn by turning their shoulders more than their hips, and that gets them into the coil position that will look like right there. He's going to do an open stance, so he's loading the outside leg, and then he's going to begin to transfer his weight onto the left leg. So again, he's doing this, he's not bending his knees as much, but he is transferring the weight, allowing that arm to be freely and drive forward. Now again, if we want to talk about his grip tension is probably somewhere between a 1 and a 3. You'd have to ask him personally, but it's quite loose, and it's loose enough for the racket to lay back. And again, if you know about racket lag, you know that you cannot hold onto the grip too tight. However, you cannot be too loose where your palm is not holding onto the racket, because you want to make sure that all your hand is holding onto your racket. That way the grip tension is just right for the racket to pull back and lag and whip. Something else that I'm gonna notice is when he's doing his take back, you see that he has a loop on his swing. Now some players have a bigger loop than others. However, Roger's loop is not so big, especially after 2007, where again he shortened his swing, because from 2004 to 2006 he had a really strong forehand. However, he changed his backswing to make it slightly shorter. I believe he may have done that because people were starting to hit bigger, or maybe he wanted to time the ball easier and take it earlier. And it's difficult sometimes to take the ball early when you have a bigger swing, but if you shorten your swing, now you can time things easier. Personally, I prefer his old forehand from 2004 to 2006. You can look it up. I believe he ruled a little bit more with that forehand. It looks a little bit more like Novak Djokovic's actual forehand, where the racket head's above the wrist prior to the forward swing, where on his new forehand he allows the racket head to drop a little bit more and keeps it on the right side of his body. But again, both forehands did a lot of damage, but I personally like his old forehand more. However, either forehand was just as deadly. I mean, even the forehand that he used before he retired, because unfortunately he retired, was so deadly that a lot of the opponents, I think they did a survey not too long ago, I say not too long ago, but it was like around 2012, 2011. They were asking players who's the toughest forehand to go up against, and a lot of them would say Roger Federer. So again, not only is it a shot that's mostly been copied by most amateur players, but it's also been feared by a lot of even top players. Players they don't want to go to that wing a whole lot, or at least when Federer was currently playing. So he had one of the most deadliest forehand on tour, and also the most elegant by a mile. In my opinion, I don't think anybody comes close to looking as elegant as Roger. Maybe the only one that you could argue is perhaps Grigor Dimitrov, because he has a similar grip and similar backswing. But again, Federer is just super efficient with his swing, and with his footwork, it just looks artistic. Anything in slow motion of Roger just looks like you could hang it up in a museum, in a video form, of course. So yes, those are my takebacks on his technique. Again, he has a very loose wrist, which allows his arm to come through very nicely after the body drives the initial swing. And should you try to copy everything that he does? Perhaps not really, because unless you're a high-level playing junior, maybe you want to get a little bit closer to what his swing looks like. But if you're an amateur, anywhere between a 2.5 and a 4.5. I wouldn't really mess too much with trying to model exactly like him. Even a 5.0, I wouldn't advise that you try to copy his backswing. What I would try and copy more is his fundamentals and how he uses the lower part of the body to store energy and to drive forward, because again he's swinging upwards and forwards on that forehand, and it's quite a deadly swing. Okay guys, here's something else that you can copy. Is notice that before every forehand he always does a split step, so you cannot forget about your split step in your movement, because no matter how good your swing is, everything always starts with a split step. And so again, paying attention to your footwork will help your game a lot. So feet first, so that you can use your amazing swing. Here you guys are going to take a look. This is Roger Federer from 2006, and you can see that the forehand was slightly different. Again, his racket was more upwards prior to the forward swing. It did not drop as much before he went after the ball. So there you go, racket is up and then he swings forward. And again, the change may not seem big, but it was. Either way, one of the best forehands of all time, and we can learn a lot from Roger, not just on the forehand but in any stroke. I've studied him for a long time, and I will continue to keep looking at videos of him playing, because again, everything is just effortless. And again, he's just a good role model to look after. You know, not just the way he hits the ball, but how he moves, shot selection, game style, just everything about him is pretty good. Guys, like and subscribe. I hope you like this kind of content. That's my brief breakdown on the Roger Federer forehand. You can see how his base and his feet work together in unison, and I hope maybe some of these things can kind of help your game. And yep, stay tuned for more. Like and subscribe, and take care. Good luck with your game.